I never chose this path. It chose me. I didn't wake up one day and say, I want to feel invisible. I want to lose people I love. I want to struggle while others succeed effortlessly. No, it happened slowly, like a fog rolling in. At first, I thought I was just sensitive. Maybe I cared too much. Maybe I was too deep for this world. People around me seemed so okay, so content to live on the surface, to chase approval, to blend in, and yet, there I was, suffocating in rooms full of people, feeling unseen, feeling like a stranger in my own life. I tried to change. I tried to talk less, laugh more, fit in, follow the crowd. I buried my intuition under layers of being normal. I dated people who didn't understand me. I took jobs that drained me. I said yes when I meant no, just to be liked. And it worked for a while. Until I started losing pieces of myself. Until pretending hurt more than being alone. Until silence felt safer than small talk. That's when I realized, maybe this isn't about fitting in. Maybe I wasn't born to belong. Maybe I was born to awaken. Being set apart doesn't happen in one big explosion. It happens through quiet moments. When you say something true, and the room goes silent. When you share your heart, and they change the subject. When you succeed quietly, but no one claps. You start to notice you're different. Not better. Not worse. Just not the same. At first, it hurts. You internalize it. You wonder, what's wrong with me? Why can't I connect like others do? Why do I feel everything so deeply? But over time, those questions evolve into something else. Not, what's wrong with me, but, what is trying to awaken within me? If you're reading this, you felt it too. The ache of watching people walk away. Without explanation. The sting of being the giver who's always left empty. The confusion of doing everything right and still feeling wrong. But I want to tell you something now that I wish someone told me years ago. You are not broken. You are not too much. You are not behind. You are being set apart, because your soul cannot settle for less than truth. Spiritual isolation. There's a loneliness that goes deeper than being alone. It's not just the absence of people, it's the absence of resonance. You're in a conversation, but no one hears you. You're in a crowd, but no one feels you. You try to express your truth, but it lands like static in a world tuned to a different frequency. This is spiritual isolation. It's the kind of solitude that doesn't show up in photos or Facebook posts. It shows up in your soul. You're not just disconnected from people. You're disconnected from the version of you that used to belong. Because now, something deeper is happening inside. You're waking up. At first, it feels like loss. You grieve friendships you outgrew. You question why certain people no longer feel right. You wonder if you're just pushing everyone away. But what's actually happening is alignment. Your vibration is shifting. The things that once gave you comfort now feel empty. The people who once made you laugh now leave you drained. The conversations that once felt enough now feel fake. You're not becoming distant. You're becoming true. And the truth has a cost. It costs fitting in. It costs popularity. It costs the comfort of pretending. But in return, it gives you something rare. Yourself. Spiritual isolation is not rejection. It's redirection. It's the universe pulling you back, not to punish you, but to prepare you. You're being stripped of what's false. So what's real can finally rise. And in this space of silence, strange things begin to happen. You become highly sensitive to energy. Loud noises feel unbearable. Crowds become overwhelming. Certain people's energy feels off, even if they smile. You begin to feel everything more deeply, not just joy, but pain, lies, and even unspoken truths. You are not too much. You are tuned in. This spiritual isolation is temporary, but transformational. It is your cocoon, not a prison, but a preparation chamber. You are shedding skin. You are shedding identity. You are becoming new. It may feel lonely now, but one day, you'll look back and see that this was the season your soul came home. So be still. Be brave. Be tender with yourself. This silence is sacred. It is not empty. It is full of becoming. Energy vampires and soul drain. Not everyone who is drawn to your light knows how to honor it. Some come to admire it. Some come to steal it. And some don't even know they're draining you. As a chosen one, your energy is magnetic. It heals. It uplifts. It reveals. But it also attracts brokenness. Not because you're meant to fix others, but because your light makes people feel safe, even if just for a moment. But here's what happens. You meet someone in pain. You sense their wounds. Even if they say they're fine. You want to help, so you listen. Give, pour, support. At first, it feels good. You feel useful, needed, connected. But slowly, something shifts. You start feeling tired after every interaction. You dread their messages. You shrink yourself to make space for their chaos. You give and give and give until you're empty. And when you finally set a boundary, they call you selfish, distant, changed. You didn't change. You returned to yourself. You realized that your energy is not infinite. That loving others should not cost you your own soul. That being kind doesn't mean becoming someone's emotional landfill. You don't owe anyone your light, especially if they refuse to find their own. You are not a charger. You are not a sponge. You are not a savior. You are a soul on your own path. Energy vampires don't always look evil. Sometimes, they're charming. Sometimes, they're family. Sometimes, they're even unaware. But regardless of their intent, the effect is the same. You feel depleted. You lose your clarity. You start to forget yourself. This is not love. This is energetic entanglement. And the only cure is boundaries. Boundaries are not walls. They are filters. They don't keep love out. They keep depletion out. As a chosen one, you must learn this sacred truth. You cannot save people by sacrificing yourself. Your job is to shine, to embody truth, to lead by example. Those who are ready will rise. Those who are not must walk their own journey. Financial struggles and spiritual blocks. Let's talk about something that many spiritual people feel, but few are willing to admit. Money is hard. No matter how much you meditate, visualize, or affirm, the bank account stays the same. You want to live your purpose, but purpose doesn't pay the rent. You give your heart, but the world seems to reward hustle, not healing. And deep down, you start to wonder, why is it so easy for others, but so hard for me? Here's the truth. As a chosen one, you were not born into alignment with the world's values. You weren't taught to chase profit. You were taught to chase purpose. You weren't trained to manipulate. You were trained to feel. You weren't wired for capitalism. You were wired for compassion. So of course, money feels like a struggle. But here's what's deeper. Money is not just currency. It's energy. It flows to where there is safety, clarity, and alignment. If you grew up hearing things like, "We can't afford that," "Money is the root of all evil," "Rich people are greedy," then part of you associates abundance with shame, guilt, or fear. That part needs healing. You may also carry ancestral money wounds. Maybe your family survived wars, famines, betrayals. Maybe they had to hustle, hide, or sacrifice. And now, that trauma lives in your nervous system. You may sabotage wealth, not out of laziness, but out of loyalty, out of fear of being different, out of fear of being judged, out of fear of losing love. But here's the truth. You can honor your ancestors by healing what they could not. Money is not evil. Money is not spiritual. Money is neutral. It reflects the energy you hold. When you believe you're worthy, it comes. When you serve with joy, it multiplies. When you create with truth, it flows. So stop asking, "How do I get more?" Start asking, "How do I become a safe space for abundance to arrive?" Dark night of the soul. There comes a time on the path of the chosen one when everything falls apart, not just externally but inside. The beliefs, the goals, the identity, gone, like dust. You wake up one day and realize, "I don't know who I am anymore." This is not depression. This is not failure. This is the dark night of the soul. In this darkness, nothing feels real. Food loses taste. Music loses meaning. Words sound hollow. The things that used to excite you now leave you numb. And the things that once hurt you come back louder. Your soul isn't dying, it's shedding. Your ego isn't being punished, it's being dismantled. Because in order to awaken, the old version of you must fall. This is not the end. This is the hallway between worlds. The place between no longer and not yet. And yes, it's terrifying. You'll feel lost. You'll question your worth. You'll wonder if you imagined your purpose. But you are not broken. You are being reborn. And every soul that awakens must pass through this fire. The dark night strips you of every illusion. The illusion that you're in control. The illusion that healing is always pretty. The illusion that success means always rising. Here, you learn that real growth feels like falling apart. And sometimes, falling apart is growth. You'll cry without reason. You'll wake up exhausted. You'll crave silence. You'll feel like everything is ending. But in truth, something ancient is beginning. You are being stripped down to your essence. So the universe can rebuild you on truth, not trauma, on presence, not performance, on purpose, not pressure. Let it fall. Let it burn. Let it break. This is your rebirth. The calling. After the dark night, something shifts. Not all at once. Not like fireworks. But quietly. Gently. Like dawn breaking after the longest night. You start to feel again. Not joy. Not yet. But presence. Stillness. Clarity. You begin to realize, I'm still here. Something inside me survived the fire. And then, like a whisper in the soul, the calling begins. It's not loud. It doesn't shout. It's a nudge. A knowing. A pull towards something more real. You start craving depth. You want your life to mean something. You no longer care about approval. You care about alignment. You feel guided towards certain books, people, ideas. You feel drawn to create, speak, write, heal. You don't know why. You just know you must. This is the calling. You were not left behind. You were being prepared. Everything that broke you open. Now, your soul begins to lead. You realize, I'm not here to impress. I'm here to express. I'm not here to perform. I'm here to remember. I'm not here to compete. I'm here to complete my soul's mission. The calling doesn't promise comfort. It asks for courage. It won't give you all the answers, but it will awaken the part of you that can live in the questions. And from that place, you will serve, not for attention, not for validation, but because you must, because it hurts more not to. When you deny the calling, your soul aches. When you follow it, even imperfectly, your soul breathes. So you begin, small, quiet, raw, real. You write the post. You make the video. You tell your story. You start the healing. You say yes to the whisper. And though your voice shakes, you speak anyway. Because it's no longer about being ready. It's about being real. The rise doesn't come with trumpets. There's no parade, no spotlight, no certificate that says, you made it. It comes quietly. The way the sun rises without asking permission. The way a flower blooms even when no one watches. Suddenly, you're not trying to be seen anymore. You're just living in your truth. And somehow, that's enough. You start walking differently. Not with arrogance, but with peace. Not seeking, but radiating. Not chasing, but attracting. You no longer beg for love. You become love. You no longer fight to prove. You live to embody. Your energy speaks before you do. People feel it. The ones meant for you recognize you. You don't find your tribe. You become someone they can find. And abundance? It begins to flow, not because you force it, but because you align with it. You're no longer chasing survival. You're living in purpose. You're creating from truth. You're giving from overflow, not depletion. You don't compromise your peace for profit. You don't trade your truth for likes. You choose alignment every single day. And that becomes your freedom. The world may still not understand you. That's okay. You're not here to be understood. You're here to be the light. Your pain was real. Your struggle was sacred. Your rise is earned. And now, you lead, you serve, you shine, not as someone above others, but as someone who remembers who they are. And in doing so, you help others remember too. This is the path of the chosen one. It is not easy. It is not glamorous. But it is sacred. Because every time you heal generations. Every time you speak your truth, you free someone else. Every time you rise, you make space for another to do the same. You are not alone. You are a masterpiece in progress. Complete, yet always becoming. And this is just the beginning.